everyone, it's Last Angry Geek here. I just thought I'd take a few minutes to talk to you about the Avengers. I just saw it yesterday and have got some things on my mind, want to get it out there, and I thought, well, hey, we've already had a million vlogs about the Avengers on this side. What's one more, right? So I saw it. I liked it. Let's get that out of the way. I wasn't as crazy about it as everyone else seems to be. I wasn't one of these people going, oh my god, go see the Avengers. It's the best amazing film I've ever seen. Yeah, I wasn't like that. I did like it. And I think part of it is the story. I thought the story was just okay because, you know, you got the Avengers, they have to come together, they have to meet and clash and kind of fall apart, and then they kind of come together again to face the big threat, and it's kind of a standard super team origin story. I think a sequel would be miles better because we've already gotten all the personality conflicts out of the way, and we can start gelling on the relationships and such. The director, Joss Whedon, he did a good job, I'll give him that, but with Joss Whedon, and this goes back to like Buffy the Vampire Slayer and his comic book work, Joss Whedon creates great moments. He doesn't necessarily do a great overall story. I mean, if you watch Buffy, I mean, sometimes the story is just so-so from season to season, but in every season he creates great moments. And this movie had a lot of great moments in it. I don't know if the story overall was great. Probably my biggest problem was the villains, Loki and the Chitauri, I think they were called. The Chitauri are actually, that's the Ultimate Universe version of the Skrulls, but they never, you kind of saw the chin on the one guy in the cloak, but you didn't really get that with the other Chitauri. You didn't see them shapeshift or anything. And I thought, if you're going to use the Skrulls, why not make them shapeshifters? You know, this was as bad a Skrull story as Secret Invasion was. They just show up, blow things up, and get their asses kicked. And plus, with Loki, I didn't know if he was working for them or if he was their, you know, it seemed like that one guy had that, you'll understand what pain is, but, you know, I would have liked a clear idea of what the relationship between them was. You know, was he kind of forced to work for them? Did he think they were working for him? I mean, how did they get together, you know, after Thor? I mean, there were just a lot of questions with the villains. The heroes themselves, I kind of felt Captain America just, you know, okay, he was just there. I wasn't crazy about the Captain America movie last year. I was like the opposite of everyone else. Everyone said Thor was okay and Captain America was great. I thought Captain America was okay, but Thor was great. And this kind of works as a sequel to Thor. It's a sequel to Thor and Captain America, really, because in Captain America, that introduced the Terra Sect, the Cosmic Cube, and in Thor, that kind of, at the end of that, they had the scene where it showed Loki finding out about it and kind of coveting that power. Let's talk about each of the characters. Thor still had that kind of brotherly relationship with Loki, which is what I really liked about the Thor movie. He was like, come home, you know, yeah, you're going to be punished, but you're still family. We still, you know, we want to make this work. But Loki wasn't having it. Captain America, they could have done a little more with the fish out of water aspect since he had just been unfrozen. I mean, there's basically, oh, I don't get this reference. Oh, I got that one! See, I like that moment where he does finally understand one of the references. That was a good moment. Nick Fury and S.H.I.E.L.D., I really liked the opening. It was very James Bond opening. You know, there's, the villains come and take him. They're trying to stop him. Guns a-blazing, explosions, you know. Hawkeye, I'm kind of glad Hawkeye went evil. Spoilers, that Loki kind of brainwashed him and let him be evil, because then it gave him something to do. I mean, all we've seen of Hawkeye was that brief cameo in Thor. So this kind of gives him some alone time, shows just how kind of a dangerous secret agent with the trick arrows and everything, you know. It didn't really build up his character much, but it introduced him as somebody who could stand toe-to-toe with the Avengers. Iron Man, Robert Downey Jr., he was great, as always. Very funny, but also had a level of pathos there that I think worked, especially after the big loss in the movie. I won't spoil that for you. But, you know, and I was glad that they had Pepper Potts back. They had the Jarvis computer voice. I'm glad that so many elements of the different movies came into the Avengers. You had the Hydra weaponry and the Terra Sect. You had Thor. You had the brief mention of Jane Foster. I'm glad they didn't just, well, why isn't he talking about her, the girl he fell in love with? Well, they did. They put that in there, and that I was grateful for. Probably the best character for me, and this should surprise no one in a Joss Whedon movie, was the Black Widow. I mean, she was amazing. Scarlett Johansson, from the introduction with the Russians. For me, I was going to say that the movie began a few scenes later, but thinking about it, the movie really kind of kicked in for me when she had the scene with Loki. That was a great scene. That was a great moment. Joss Whedon to a T, but you can't have a 2.5-hour superhero movie where it's just conversation, sadly. But that is the best moment in the movie, Loki and the Black Widow. The scene I was talking about a few scenes later, the Hulk. When the Hulk finally shows up, when Bruce Banner turns into the Hulk and he starts running rampant and has the fight with Thor. That was good action. And the Hulk is used very well in a kind of special effect kind of way. And I don't mean that he's made from CGI. It's just, he's not really a character. He's just there to have moments, a la Joss Whedon. He's there to punch this guy at the right moment. He's there just to beat the crap out of this guy at this moment. He's there to Hulk out and go nuts, basically. And that's not a slam against Mark Ruffalo, who did an amazing job. And as much as I would have liked to see Edward Norton come back, and I really think he should have, I will say Mark Ruffalo did a great job, especially that first scene between Banner and the Black Widow. Again, she had another great scene. And again, that scene between Banner and the Black Widow, where he's kind of testing her and kind of has that freak out moment. That was really great. Mark Ruffalo did an amazing job. The Hulk has the steal the show moments. He has the moments where, oh, hey. As for the scenes at the end, the first one kind of saw it coming. Okay, that's great, but nobody who doesn't read the comics will know who the hell that was. The scene after the credits, though, that was pure Whedon. That was hilarious. I loved that. Go Shawarma. So I like the Avengers, but the story could have been a little better, but it's a typical origin movie. You got to get them all together. They got to have their conflict. And that one scene where they're all in the lab and yelling at each other and you realize Banner has the weapon, that was a good scene. Lots of great moments. Not a great overall story. It was kind of vanilla for my taste. The villains show up, they're going to destroy the Earth. Why? I don't know. They're just going to do it. The villains could have been a little more rounded. That would have made the movie better for me, and you should go see it. Because when I was a kid, the idea that you could have all these superhero movies and then get them all together in one film was inconceivable. I mean, the X-Men, that blew my mind that you could do a superhero team movie, but then that you could have individual superhero movies and bring them all together in one big team-up movie. That was never going to happen when I was a kid, so Marvel should be commended for making this happen. I saw it IMAX 3D. Didn't feel the 3D was that great. I really kind of wish 3D would just go away. It kind of comes up every 20 years or so, it surprised me because when I saw John Carter, the 3D I thought was best was the Avengers trailer. And it's just okay. I mean, I wish they'd just go back to using IMAX presentations, so you just kind of Blu-ray movies on a big screen, really nice detail, really sharp. It doesn't necessarily have to be 3D. That's it for now. I'll be back later in this month. I'm keeping with this theme I've apparently started with Avengers: The Children's Crusade to this vlog to the next one. I'm going to be doing Avengers Academy issues 27-28, which is their crossover with the Runaways. It wasn't really a crossover. The Runaways guest starred. They don't have their own book right now. And that's another movie I think Marvel should get going on. But hey, Nico should be Asian. Okay, hey, thanks for joining me, everyone. I'll see you next time on The Last Angry Geek. Bye.